something I could do without. I could do without the rain. Um, Never been a massive fan. Just well, I guess I like it when I'm inside. I just hate being in it. So that's kind of my weather opinion at the moment. But actual plan for the lift, um, it might actually change a little bit. So I was thinking back, but my left lat feels a little tight. I think maybe I couldn't really tell you what it's from. I think I was probably sleeping in a really weird way. I don't know. Because it felt good after the last back day. I don't think I did anything to it. I think I just slept funky and maybe cut off some circulation. I don't know. But maybe once it gets warmed up in there, it'll get to feeling normal. But if it's still kind of funky, again, following any enlightened lifter's wisdom, don't do something that feels not even just bad. Don't do something if it feels weird. If you feel off. Oh my goodness. And I don't mean off and just like tired. I mean like if you're doing bench and your chest feels just funky, like just kind of weird, like oh it's never felt like that before. That sort of thing. That's typically a good cue to say maybe I should back off a little bit. Maybe I should make this just a tricep dedicated day. So to be determined. If I decide I want to chill on back for another day, then maybe I'll just do shoulders. But we'll see. We will freaking see. So, I mean, same as normal. It's not apart from like the fact that each lift does change because you can do a bunch of different stuff. Just how exciting is it? You kind of just go in and do the same shit over and over again. So it's not like, ugh, I think I'm really just trying to say you gotta be comfortable with just repeating the same lift hundreds of times on end. And of course, there's variation. Like I do different movements and different sets and styles and rep schemes or whatever. But at the end of the day, with back specifically, go in, pull some shit, do some shit like this, maybe do some shit like this where you're pulling from up top, get a back pump and roll. So it's, I think, well, back doesn't really get overcomplicated too much. Not that I ever see. Usually I see a little bit of funkiness for, I don't know, I can't even think of it. The only time I see anybody doing anything really weird is when I'm watching like a cringe gym compilation. I'd I'd recommend you check some shit like that out just to kind of ground yourself, realize just how nuts people can be. But whatever, enough of that little ramble. So, 7:23, kind of a late one. I actually meant to come in earlier, but I just totally passed out on the couch. I was done. So, I'm relatively certain that they're open until 9:30 or until 9. Um, I say that with relative certainty, but I didn't call ahead. I'm not actually sure. It's the day after Christmas. Maybe the hours are funky. So if they're closed, I'll just have to do a little U-turn and then head to the Planet Fitness instead. But even if I had to do that, I wouldn't mind. The Planet Fitness has some good back machines. Cable row, pull downs, normal cable stacks. Um, I've been staying away from the bent over rows, like barbell or Smith. Sometimes I kind of do a little cable variation, but I said this in the last back day. It's just you got to think how many muscles are you recruiting to hit one. Like think about this. Up here is how many muscles you're hitting, and if you're doing a bodybuilding style workout, then you're probably only hitting one at a time, right? So one up here, and then you want as few to be activated on the denominator of that fraction as possible. So when I do lat pull downs and I sit down, lock myself into the seat, and then I strap in so I don't have to use my forearm so much, and I try to take my biceps out of the equation, then I'm trying to target my lats, and my lats are only being fired, so 100% efficient, if you understand what I'm trying to say there. Whereas if you do something like deadlifts or bent over rows, right, you're aiming at your back, so back is up here, and then at the bottom you've got your glutes, hamstrings, lower back, just all sorts of stuff coming into play that you're not even really working out. It's just getting hit. And I'm not saying there's no benefit to potentially doing deadlifts. Very functional movement for sure. But I'm trying to get a back pump. I'm trying to get my lats as wide as they can get, and thicken up my mid back. Whoa. So like, I couldn't even really tell you what kind of proportion. A freaky one at that. So, I mean, deadlifts, bent over rows, they're just kind of on the back burner. I think the barbell bent over rows will come back into play purely just because I like them. Just because I like them. I just only like them right now. I've gone through phases where I hated incline Smith machine. Maybe not hated, but like I would just never do it in my workouts. And I would only do incline dumbbell, or I would only do incline barbell. Or, well, now, pretty much mainly do an incline Smith. But, it just kind of comes in a rotation. So, just because I don't do a specific movement doesn't mean I don't like it. It might just mean I don't like it right now. And its time will come to shine in the spotlight. And I think having that little preference where it actually changes over time, like after a few months of really pushing a lot of incline Smith, maybe I'll try to get some more incline barbell or incline dumbbell, stuff like that. Just by having that change in exercise selection and kind of, I don't want to say mastery, but like if I were to try to jump straight onto really heavy incline dumbbell press right now, I'd probably be a bit freaked out by it. Like I wouldn't want to go that heavy just because I haven't done it for a while. I'm not really experienced in doing that for the last couple of months. So it's kind of wobbly. Same thing with incline barbell. I've gone periods of time where I only did dumbbell bench like for months on end. And then even grabbing a barbell, like it felt strange. So if you haven't done some kind of movement for a while and then you just jump straight onto it, maybe use some caution. Maybe make sure you get kind of exposed to the movement very properly before you try to load up as much weight as you can handle and lose your balance or something. Not that would ever happen, of course, but you never know. So let's just get in there. Hope it's not too busy. And then fast forward to the pump check. God damn it! All right. So with these single arm pull downs, after warming up, it does feel fine. Just some kind of something. I don't feel like I'm gonna rip my lat off, that's for sure. But with these single arm pull downs, the way I'm gonna do the set, of course, I'm gonna do full complete reps in the beginning when I'm fresh. But I really don't think that you can push yourself, at least on one single set, to 100% unless you bust out reps enough to the point where you're doing partials and you can't actually do a complete rep. This is not like a bench press or a squat. With movements like that, with those sort of, I don't know what to call them.
Good evening, morning, CA members again.
Let's finish this little intermission.
8 o'clock and 12 minutes. Child watching next time will be closing in 12 minutes. Thank you.
Doesn't concern me. But, so sure, with something like a squat or something like a bench press, you're going to do normal, full range of motion, full reps, and then you'll get to a point where you physically fail. You can't do another one. But with movements like pull downs or like, well, let's just say pull downs, leg extensions, hamstring curls, you can do a set where you can do a full rep, right? I can go completely here to here. Just because on one rep after that, I can only get to like chin level, I can't get this full depth. Should I just rack it? And I'm not saying this like it's pretentious. Like, what do you think? Should I rack the weight and just be done once I can't do any more proper reps? Or should I keep trying to push my lats to the point where they physically can't move? And for me, I kind of prefer the latter. If I just did a set, or if I did all my sets on more, let's call them isolation movements, and I ended the set just because I couldn't do a perfectly executed rep, I don't think I'd have it good as a pump. The pumps for sure would suffer, and then consequently, I think the gains would suffer. So why wouldn't you go hard? That's all I'm trying to say there. So let's, nice, slow, controlled reps to rep failure. Okay. Okay. Whew. Yeah. Let's do 2 more. Well, I don't know. However many more, as long as they feel good. Okay. All right. You know what? I lied. I think that's enough of these. Let's move on to, I don't know, a pull down machine or something. Something lat biased. You can't really see the whole setup just with this angle, but I got 2 extra long D handles in front of me on the highest setting on the cable. And then I got this bench sort of wedged between a few plates so I don't slide towards the machine. But with these, you know, I'll grab the handle, sit down or so. And I like this setup, apart from the fact that it takes a little while to set up, but huge stretch on my lats. And then it's kind of like it's almost like a mid-rep transition from something that looks like a pull down. Because when I'm in front here, I'm kind of leaning forward a little bit, real big stretch on my lats, just like a pull down would be. But as I come in, I'll lean back a little bit and get a bit more kind of, I want to say almost inner mid lat squeezing. So crazy stretch. I can squeeze super hard. That sounds like a good back movement to me. So I'll sit here for maybe a set or 2, however many feels good. There we go. Oh, oh my gosh. That was good. A little too light. I'm gonna add another plate and do another one. Whew. But actually, this is worth noting. I'll say with a movement like this, something about this bench cable setup with these sort of 2 D handles that are connected. I don't know if you're watching this video, you know, like what the Christmas tree is on somebody's back. Like here's like their lower back, kind of a triangle-ish shape, and their lats are up here. I really feel like my inner lats, like where they're trying to creep in. It's, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe. Basic, conclusive statement on it. I feel a super good squeeze on like the innermost part of my lats with these. So another one. Come on. Oh my god. Okay. One more. This is turning into a real lat biased back day, which I don't mind ever so often. Okay. Okay. So again, like I was saying before I even started, I do not just want to do sets of shit reps. Like if I did the entire set and every rep looked like that last one, just like this, that is stupid. I agree with you. But doing that kind of rep after, honestly, the first 5 or maybe even 4, I got an insane squeeze, like pulling harder than I ever could. And then my range of motion decreased, but I still try to maintain the intensity until you kind of have to draw the line somewhere. But by the time I'm only moving a little bit like that, I feel like I can rack it. But I don't know, let's do something else. Back is going really good. This feels sick today. Assisted pull-ups. Really, Sam? Well, guess what, man? I'm gonna feel it very well. Honestly, I wouldn't even consider assisted pull-ups a pull-up. It's almost its own movement entirely. Like I don't know, it's just very interesting. The squeeze, I feel like I can get the squeeze of a really light pull down at the top. Like I'm really trying to pull my fucking scapulas together, getting a lot of scapular retraction, aka, feel my shoulder blades stretching out and then closing in. But I don't know, man, I just like it. Obviously, don't go too heavy. Well, don't go too light. So, I mean, what I'm trying to say is do a weight which you can still do good reps with. But I think assisted pull-ups and a back day, I do not mind that at all. So let's bust at least one out. I did a feeler rep, felt pretty good, but maybe after the first actual set, I'll say screw it and move on. Okay. Oh my goodness. That felt good, but not 2 sets good. Let's do some pullovers and be done. I think this is going to be it. I might do one more. We'll see how it feels. But I'm going to do all of the left side first. Really try to squeeze. I mean, you can do pullovers with a rope or with like a W bar, where you're doing them like this. And I mean, you can feel it pretty well, but I don't know. For me, I can squeeze so much harder when I just do one arm at a time. Maybe it's a posture thing. Maybe it's just a personal thing. But light-ish pullovers like these, love it. No. Oh. No. Oh. Oh. Okay. Let's find somewhere to do a lat spread without hurting anybody. Okay, so what was that? 7 sets-ish? All primarily hitting lats and at least like, if this is your whole back, top, bottom, and the lower half section. Which I talked about this before. I mean, I don't think you need like a upper back row focus day and a lat focus day. I think just change it up every back day. Maybe usually have an even mix. You're all right, you know. Even though your back is super complicated, you got lats, you got traps, you got rhomboids, you got all sorts of craziness. I kind of feel like if you get a good back pump, you're going to grow the whole thing. You know, it's not like, I can understand why maybe you'd think, okay, I should have a whole workout for lats and a whole workout for traps, which, I mean, going about it that way might not be bad. It might actually be better. But I don't know. I've just been getting my back pump, leaving, and over time my back's been getting bigger. So confirmation bias, I might just keep doing it this way. Plus, at the end of all my back days, I get to look at this, which isn't necessarily a turnoff either. Honestly, in the car, I kind of thought I was going to feel like shit. Right before I got in here, I was taking a nap on the couch. And then I remembered the gym was, going to close soon. So I had to perk up kind of quick. But damn, those working sets felt freaking very nice. Oh shit. All right, now that's a lat spread. Oh yeah. I mean, what do I expect? That was like a lat bias day. Dude, holy shit. I don't know if it's because my stomach's a little bit empty because I haven't eaten a crazy amount of food today, but this is very, oh my goodness. Fuck. Now I'm starting to think I should just hit lats all on their own. Oh my, I don't know if I've had a lat pump this kind of wide before. And also, let's just bring up shoulders again. I'll still see comments, why do I not train shoulders? I think my arms need to catch up. I mean, look at them. They're fucking just like shoulder pads. I want my arms to be the same sort of roundness as up here. So it's just kind of not necessary yet. Oi. Oh shit. Dude, I fucking love it. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oof. Back double bicep, that's a little tricky because I can't see where my arms are. In a front double bicep, I can make sure I'm nice and symmetrical. But in a back double bicep, I don't know what's going on. I can be a little crooked. Sometimes I put my arms too high up. Sometimes they're too low. Either way, back is always pumped. So that's the main goal. Even if the posing was shit, if you got some beef on your frame, you're still gonna kind of look like a monster. So we're done. That was a really good one. Oh, this kind of ties into what I was saying earlier. Not earlier, but a few videos ago in the car. Sort of bringing up like, it's not about reaching a max streak of really good lifts. That's sweet. If I have a whole week of badass lift, I feel awesome. I feel strong. Pumps are nuts. If I've got a whole week straight like that, I mean, obviously I'm going to love it. But, that's not the point. The point is making sure that your average is in the green.
It's like if you're a stock trader. It doesn't matter if you lose 4 G's one day, if over the week you made 3. It's all about this linear progression. So day by day, it's almost not even worth thinking about. Like if it's the same thing with your weight. It might be the same thing with like your mood. Day by day, you got fucking fluctuations like this. Like you might not even see a trend. With your weight, you definitely won't. But once you zoom out and you start looking week to week, month to month, even though when you zoom in, there's all sorts of craziness going on, if you've got everything going right, it should still be a steady increase, It's like we're copying inflation. Ups and downs, but always going up. That might not be the best analogy. Let's just get in the car. I'm saying some craziness.
Now that was a good lift. That was a really good lift. Honestly, I haven't really thought that after the last few lifts. Like, they've been good, of course, but like my subjective mood has been a little bit low. I couldn't really tell you why. Maybe it's, I don't know. Well, I can tell you. Sometimes there's just random ass X factors that are going to hit you and mess up your flow. So the last thing you want to do is just succumb. I could definitely see somebody thinking to themselves, okay, I've kind of had a couple of days where I just wasn't really feeling it in the gym. I'll just take a whole week off. Do a reset. Not that that won't work, but how do you know you're not right there in the next session? You're just going to kill it. It's like the guy mining for diamonds meme. He's right there. There's like this much dirt left. And there's fucking just, you get what I'm saying. If you know, you know. That's kind of one of those situations right there. But yeah, good lift, man. That was sweet. It's 8:30. Plus, so warm up, plus posing, plus kind of parking and like sitting on my phone for a second, then walking in. That was probably maybe 25 minutes total. So that was only like a 30-minute lift, if that. Now, for one muscle group, that's about right. I feel like that's about right, If I'm doing my sets at a reasonable pace, then each muscle group, pretty much 30, 45 minutes, I feel like you can get a good workout in that time. I've seen dudes who tell me they've been in the gym for hours, and I don't think they're joking. Like, they'll be doing, one guy told me he's doing legs for 3 hours straight. I don't think that's the method. I don't think that is the meta. Lift hard, do enough hard sets to where you feel like you're fully pumped and satisfied with what you did, then I think you're good. I don't think that's the worst way to go about it. Now, I'm definitely not telling you that's the best. Just kind of what I think. So, I'm going to keep referencing this until New Year's. Just because it's around New Year's. But, man, fuck. There's thousands, millions of people. And they've got this thing that they want to start doing. For my circumstances, let's just talk about lifting, because that's what I talk about. Millions of dudes. All right. You know what? January 1st, I'm going to kick it into overdrive. January 1st, I've already got my alarm set. 5 a.m. I'm going to do a run around the block, 5 miles, come back, drink 3 egg whites. Or no, what am I thinking? Drink 6 eggs whole like Rocky. And then go hit the gym. Maybe not the Rocky part with the eggs, but you get what I'm saying. They're waiting. They're just waiting for January 1st. Fuck, here we go. Let's do it. And you're going to see this. Anybody that knows about the gym, even just a little bit, everybody knows this, not even just lifters. There's the New Year's crowd. There's the crowd of people coming in on New Year's. And every year, anybody that's been lifting knows, a few weeks pass and the herd thins. A few months pass and fuck, man, there's just stragglers. Now, I say stragglers, but I do not mean that in a negative way. The people who are persisting and they still keep going, that's the minority, Like, I like to think when I say something motivational, or when anybody says something motivational, right? They're not talking to the people who just, in one ear out the other. They're not just preaching to the choir in that sense, right? They're talking to the dude who's actually going to do something about it, use that little bit of wisdom or maybe a little bit of knowledge or just, you just call it hype, and actually translate it to some sort of tangible result.
You know? I mean, at the end of the day, look, everybody's just going to get up, do their shit, go back to sleep, repeat it for X number of years, and then croak. But, come on, don't you want to do something cool? It's just hardwired in your brain that you want to be cool. I said this fucking months ago, or maybe weeks ago, I don't remember. Right? But when you were a kid, you wanted to be king in Foursquare. You wanted to be the top dog. You wanted to like make a little art project, and the teacher picks it up and says, "This is good. Look at so and so. You want to be like him." You know, I definitely said this phrase. I was like, "You want to be the guy to kick the kickball over the fence, right?" And to do that, right, for some method, or for some factor, or some hobby, or whatever, in some way, you've got to become a little bit. Well, you got to stick out, and not like just be weird. I'm saying like become good enough at something, right? Develop a certain sense of proficiency at some sort of skill, and right, just by going through the process of doing that, it's gonna change you as a guy or as a person. I mean, there's a 4% female viewership, so don't let me be disparaging like that. But you get what I'm saying, right? Any non-lifter, anybody who doesn't understand, well, I don't want to say doesn't understand, but anybody who doesn't even, like, they make fun of people lifting. They're like, oh, they just go in and freaking work out every day. Oh, that's stupid. I want to stay home and watch Marvel movies. I hope I didn't take a stab at you with that one. But, you know, people like that, they don't understand that it's like, it's a skill. It's something you're learning, you're getting better at. And by repeating the process over and over again, you're kind of just becoming more refined at it. And just by doing that, it doesn't mean that in 3 years, you're just going to be the exact same person, but you'll just have bigger muscles. That's not the point. You know, who fucking cares? If you just took a beginner lifter and you just like transformed them into, you know, 6-year experienced freak, they're just going to probably turn into an asshole from, because they got something they didn't earn in a sense. And by that, I just mean like they didn't actually do any kind of work for it. You know, like by going through the process of something day in, day out, years, you're going to change. And having a blah, 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 having a proficiency at something like that, which is legit, I don't want to knock on you if like you think your thing is League of Legends, but I kind of do a little bit. You know, it's I'm just a League of Legends hater. Don't take that into don't take that to heart. But you know, just by being good at something like that, having something, it's just nice, man. You get something to wake up to every day, right? There's tons of dudes. I think anybody who gets into a reasonable amount, blah, 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 a reasonable amount of trouble, are just, they're not really killing it. Like, you know, when you're talking about one of like somebody you know or something else, like talking about them with somebody else, which whether or not gossiping like that's good for you, maybe we don't have to get into that. But you know, like, yeah, so and so, they're not killing it. They're not really living their best life right now. And more likely than not, they don't have anything to do. Right? I see all sorts of people doing all sorts of fucking weird, crazy shit. And I don't just mean like hobbies. I'm talking about like starting fights in public, or just anything, right? Really freaking out at some kind of rally or just stuff like that. And man, sure, people have stuff to say, but do you have anything better to do? Like, I think 90 something % of people just do not have anything better to do. So get something. Get a little freaking something. That's enough of my little people hating rant. But if you're you wake up every day, you got your thing, and you're like, let's kill it. That's the way to do it. I'd say that is a much better approach. So that's all I gotta say there. Take with that what you will. I kind of got into a bit of a ramble at the end, but now I just get to go home, chow down to some sweets. Oh my god, I love it. I got some greenhouse, or some, I don't know what they're called. I don't know. Big ass jugs of like a shake, like green machine. And it's like tons of carrots and vegetables and fruits and apples and whatever. It's like 200-ish grams of carbs, maybe 180. Plus all sorts of little nutrients and whatever else. I'm sure any health nuts are probably like
Oh yeah, drink that green shake. Get your green juice. So, I think that's all I got. Arms tomorrow is gonna be good. I've been like massaging the bicep pretty hard every so often, and I think it's starting to feel better. But if I think it might be better to turn tomorrow's arm day into just a tricep day, and maybe add a little something else in, then that's just gonna have to be determined. But until then, man, cardio in the morning, plus calves, tons of food, and then whatever the lift ends up being. So I will see you next time.